Good morning, my good friends. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to my live stream. Welcome to my channel. Welcome. Welcome. Let me introduce myself. My name is Andre Lefevre. Andre Lefevre. I'm an independent citizen journalist. My website is wildnews.us. I am an extreme libertarian, and I like to mouth off on things political, things cultural, things interesting. I have a full live stream for us today. Elections are just a few days away. Today's Saturday, so it's half a day today, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. This is when elections will end. And the reason I'm saying they will end is because many states have early voting, and of course, you can vote by mail, absentee ballots, etc., etc. So reality is we have 2.5 days before we will know what is our legislature is going to look like. It appears that the freedom-loving agenda, the MAGA agenda, will win. That there's no such thing as a blue wave. It's a blue wave nightmare or a blue wave dream for the Democrat totalitarians, Democrat Nazis. Apparently, there is a red wave, but it's not the kind of wave that hip hip hooray and we're gonna win once and everything will be good and rainbows and unicorns and hard candy and all that good happy stuff. No, what we're involved in, ladies and gents, is a street fight. And most of us have never been in a street fight, but when a street fight is, it never ends. It may start out when everybody's feeling good or drunk and you can throw punches and kicks, but after a while, it goes down to the pavement, dirt, grappling, um, hurt, and the one who wins that particular street fight is the person who has the most stamina. It is not pretty. It is dirty. It is very painful, and after you win, you have a lot of damage done to you. And this is the type of a political fight that we're in. We are down on the ground, grappling, and we're fighting for our life. And I'm not exaggerating. We, the freedom-loving people, and I would say majority of people in the United States, whether we believe it or not, are involved in a political fight, cultural fight for our very, very lives. Why am I saying that? You can dismiss me as a tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorist, and okay, you're welcome to it. I got no problem with that. But we're facing an enemy that is representing a power grab by a small number of banking power elites in the United States and the whole the Western world. But since I live in California and I am an American citizen, naturalized one, legally naturalized one, proudly for almost 40 years now, I'm going to talk about only our country. In our country, a small number of trust fund kids, our banking elite, want to get rid of the middle class. Now, to them, because they don't know what middle class is, they only know that us, the middle class, don't like to snap our heels and stand at attention when they tell us to, and we have our own mind, and actually we're more intelligent than they are for many reasons, which I elaborate later. They want to get rid of us, and since majority of the country, roughly 80% of American citizens are of the European descent, their hatred is channeled towards white people. Never mind that a great number of middle class, freedom loving people uh, have don't necessarily have genetic ties to Europe. To them, it is a palatable hatred. Let's see. I am on On Washington Post, a big headline: CNN Don Lemon doubles down after saying white men are biggest terror threat in this country. Uh, Don Lemon is an elitist. That's what he looks like. Don Lemon represents the banking elite. He's their house, you know what. All the goods that he gets is distributed to him from the power elites. And let me explain that. Let me explain why he has such a palatable hatred for middle class. And in his mind, middle class is represented for people like us, primarily white men and white women, but mostly white men. Is because he doesn't understand what it means to earn money by hard work. Uh, the people that go to Ivy League universities in their mass are born into some form of a trust fund, an official trust fund, or they're born into the families who have a great deal of money, so the kids don't have to worry about survival. So they get an allowance, and they're used to of money being distributed to them. They don't understand what it is. They never really hold jobs on which they depend to survive. They are used to being distributed money. That's why they tend to work for large corporations and they tend to work for the government. That's why they're not used to competing for the best services. That's why they don't value a situation where you have to be nice to your customers, otherwise you go out of business. They never manage anything. They simply exist because they are spoiled, wealthy kids of any race. They hate those of us who don't believe in that. They hate those of us who actually work very, very hard every day to make to make a living. They don't understand it, us. They fear us. They label us different names, racist, bigot, whatever. It doesn't really matter. To them, anybody who is not Ivy League educated and didn't come from a wealthy background, or somebody who is not almost literally on his knees begging for their favors, is a threat. And with the middle class of any color is a huge threat to these people. And the biggest fear that they have is that they finally realize that they absolutely lost the confidence and support of the American people, of the majority of the American people, regardless of the rhetoric. They deep down and sometimes upfront understand that their ideas have lost. That's why they censor us. That's why they want to shut us up. That's why they kicked Alex Jones off the internet. That's why they kicked Gab off the internet. That's why those of us who have channels on YouTube and use Twitter and Periscope are being severely shadow banned. I'm not going to recite my own experiences with it, but some statistics on the views on I have two YouTube channels and I have a Periscope channel, and I'm an active member of on both Periscope and Twitter. The numbers vary so much that statistically you cannot explain them except except for either an algorithm or a human intervention to suppress it, and you cannot deny it. Now, uh, let me say a few things about that. Why are we winning if those uh, very well funded leftist groups are acting in such a way? Simply because they are in the wrong, and because because of the internet, because they lost control of the information. Uh, Let me go to, this is Gab. Gab was the Gab's founder, Andrew Torba. This is if you go to gab.ai, which is the address for the Gab website, and I used Gab quite extensively. It's a competitor to Twitter, a free competitor to Twitter with no censorship. Was wrongfully accused of somehow being complicit in the massacre of Jewish people in Pittsburgh last week. And I have a feeling that was a leftist operation to begin with to clamp down on the non leftist websites and to somehow tie us, the MAGA movement, to that murder. It actually backfired, but I'm not going to talk about that now. Let's talk about Gab. Here's a letter that is posted because they're not the it's a complex legal issue, and the left was able to shut Gab down. So this is what Andrew Torba posted. Gab has spent the past 48 hours proudly working with, excuse me, with the DOJ and the FBI to bring justice to an illegal terrorist. Because of the data we provided, they now have plenty of evidence for their case. In the midst of this, Gab has been no platform by essential internet infrastructure providers at every level. We are the most censored, smeared, and non-platform startup in history, which means that we are a threat to the media and to the Silicon Valley oligarchy. Gab isn't going anywhere. It doesn't matter what you write. It doesn't matter what the sophist talking heads say on TV. It doesn't matter what verified nobodies say on Twitter. We have plenty of options, resources, and support. We will exercise every possible avenue to keep Gab online and defend free speech and individual liberty for all people. We have all just made Gab a nationally recognized brand as the home of free speech online at the time when Silicon Valley is stifling political speech they disagree with to interfere in the U.S. election. The internet is the internet is not reality. TV is not reality. 80% of normal everyday people agree with Gab and support free expression and liberty. The online outrage mob and mainstream media spin machine are the minority opinion. People are waking up, so please keep pointing the finger at a social network instead of pointing the finger at the alleged shooter who holds sole responsibility for his actions. Not platform us all you want, but ban us all you want, smear us all you want. You can't stop an idea. As we transition to a new hosting provider, Gab will be inaccessible for a period of time. We are working around the clock to get Gab.com back online. Thank you, and remember to speak freely. Andrew Torba, CEO, Gab.com. Matter of fact, let me put on see if anything, Gab.com. Let's see if anything comes up. Let's see. Okay, you get the same message on Gab.com. So Andrew Torba is fighting back. And I think long term, this strategy of censorship on the part of the American elites is going to backfiring. It's backfiring already. It's just it needs time. It needs time to work itself off the ground. Remember, we are in a street fight. We're grappling. We're grappling for our life, and we're in much better shape. Uh, I like those MMA, wrestling, boxing analogies because it takes a long time sometimes for two well-matched fighters to work into a fight or a wrestling match or a grappling match, and eventually one of them defeats another. A lot of times, not because he's in a better shape or has better technique or larger or stronger, simply because he has the will to win and the other person doesn't. And I have a feeling, looking at the tactics that the left, that the Marxist left is using, that they don't have that will. They know they're in the wrong. Accusing 80% of the American population of being genetically deficient and deplorable is a desperation is a desperation move. Now, let me tell you what's happening as far as the exchange of information goes, which is crucial to our fight. This is BitChute.com. I use it. It's a competitor to YouTube. It's a good one, and it is growing. It is growing exponentially. And as you can see, you can find videos on any subject. I don't have the latest stats on how many views they have, but they are a viable competitor, and I have not been censored, and I haven't heard anybody been censored. So there, the next YouTube competitor is, and let's wait for it to load, is Brighteon.com, formerly Real.video. This one is, from what I understand, has something to do with Alex Jones. As you can see, one of the it shows one of his channels. I'm active on it, getting a fair amount of views. It's very interesting. Uh, it is extremely interesting. The next one is Steemit. I am a member of Steemit, and I have posted my videos and links to my videos on it. I have to admit, I really don't have time to give it justice. The next one is Minds, Minds.com. Minds.com, and this is a competitor. This is competitor to Facebook, and I have used it in the past. I don't have a lot of handle on it, but what I suspect is that all of these, alternative, all of this alternative. I guess I heard the term alt tech, alternative social websites are going to grow simply because Google and Facebook and Twitter censor us too much. I do have to go. I do apologize. My phone is ringing, and I am I'm a true citizen journalist. I don't get paid for this. I came to the office on Sunday, and I hope to have about an hour to have a live stream, but business is taking over. So, folks, I appreciate you joining me a lot more than I can ever express. Thank you very much for watching my Periscope and my channel if you watching the recording of it. And folks, God bless you. God bless you. Have a blessed weekend. Bye bye.